Well, hey guys, here we are again. It's day 3, wisdom number 3, and today's wisdom is never be ashamed of the music that you love. Now, I spent a bit of time thinking, is this a wisdom? But you know what? I think it really is a wisdom because I think it was probably in the 50s, more so into the 60s, that music really sort of entered the mainstream. And it's kind of like social media today, how it's democratised information. Music was democratised. It wasn't elite. It wasn't subcultural. Everybody had their favourites, right? And so pretty much everyone who is alive today probably has memories and experiences and good stuff associated with the music of their era, whether it was when they were young, when they were a teenager, all the way through to the end of life. And I know the end of life music because I grew up in brass bands. So I joined the Wodonga Citizens Brass Band at the age of 7 with my entire family. Yes, even my mother was part of it, and until she wasn't showing much progress on the triangle, so I think we mocked her out of that. But anyway, sorry Mum, but you weren't very good on the triangle. And obviously playing in a local brass band, we were travelling all over the countryside, playing at old people's homes. So I could probably still play Roll Out the Barrel very well on the euphonium. Anyway, what is a euphonium, you ask? Many people have asked me, so here you go. Here's a photo of me looking magnificent. I was about the age of 16 then, and this was featured in one of the local newspapers. And you'll see my beautiful hairstyle. That was the beehive, which was followed the mohawk. I was a very beautiful teenager. Anyway, I loved playing in brass bands. The whole family loved it. I'm sure we were pains in the arse getting us into the car, going to rehearsals and concerts, but my memory is very joyful. Obviously, it's a community thing, so community is always good, right? But I progressed with my music. I did music and ancient history at university, which is obviously a very, very valuable degree that I've used every day of my life, which I do because it made me think. But I then went on after university to become a professional musician in the Australian Army Band Melbourne, where I got to play at the top of my skills, I suppose, and I loved that too. It's also what killed my passion, but that's okay. So if you want to put Colonel Bogey on when I walk into your house, you can rest assured I'll be tapping my foot and feeling an immense amount of joy. So, another one would be Tchaikovsky's 1812 Overture. Being in the army, of course, you get to sit in a field with live cannons going off behind you. So I've got a fairly eclectic music taste, and I'm very proud of that, and I always have been. But I reckon I was a bit closed-minded with my musical taste when I was young, and I was closed in lots and lots of different ways, which I'm going to sort of talk about. But I remember when I was sort of in my late teens and sort of boys sort of started coming onto the scene, and boys have a tendency to be quite domineering in their musical taste. So by the time I met Steve when I was 33, and he's my Ministry of Man boy, and that's what he grew up loving, and I just never got into that music at all as a young person, and didn't really understand why people did it. Didn't feel like music to me. Steve has definitely helped me to come to appreciate that more. But I think the day he sat down, it was about a week after we met, and played a Coldplay album to me, I was like, oh, that's great, love, that music to slit your wrists by. So he hasn't always been successful in converting me, but, you know, my musical tastes have definitely expanded, and I would always consider myself eclectic. I like Dixieland jazz, I like country music, all the way through to ABBA. And if any of my friends want to bag me for dancing to Dancing Queen, I give them a big one of those, because Dancing Queen is linked to my best friend from my younger childhood, Emma, and she was Frida and I was Agnetha, and we used to dance on my parents' front porch to Dancing Queen. And Emma died in a motorcycle accident when we were both 24, so a lady I still miss to this day, a lady I still love to this day. She was an incredible woman, and hello Ruby, her beautiful daughter. So that's why you've got to be really careful if you're going to mock people for their music, because music's associated with so many important parts of our lives. So many, you know, you can hear a song. Most Australians, Man Down Under by Men at Work, no matter where an Australian is anywhere around the world, you hear that song and it sort of takes you back to a moment. Bob Marley is definitely one of those the musical styles, and his songs that I've heard in so many unique places, beach huts on islands all around the world. So Bob always takes me back to some really wonderful memories. But I want to pass on a message, especially to younger women, right? So as you grow into your womanhood, don't let the men in your life tell you what's good and what's bad. It doesn't matter what they think. And I'm talking to you, Gav, and I'm talking to you, Scotty, and I'm talking to a whole bunch of other boys. And I, like, on one level, I've always appreciated anyone having a passion for music, whatever it is. But I think we need to respect each other's passions for music, because music means a lot. And it means something so different to everyone. And, you know, I think of countries like Afghanistan where the Taliban bans live music. I mean, you can't even imagine. Can you imagine being in a society where music isn't a core part of just joy and liberation? So I'm going to go and put on Dancing Queen and have a little bit of a dance and probably get a couple of tears in my eyes and think of Emma. But yeah, don't ever be ashamed of the music you love, my friends, no matter how dorky it is. I bet you I can out-dork you on any genre, because music means different things to different people. It also means different things to different parts of history, different age groups, and I think the world's a better place for music. And to all you musicians, singers out there, I salute you, my sister and Jamie in particular. It's amazing what you guys do. You bring so much joy to the world. There's nothing better than standing on a stage and playing a piece of music and seeing people cry because you touch them so much. And somehow I managed to do that once when I played Danny Boy when I was in the Australian Army. I tell you, of all the euphonium solos, that's the one. Music, it's great. So third of my 50 wisdoms is never be ashamed of the music you love. Never be ashamed of anything. Just be you. Because, you know, why not? I think it's pretty cool being who you are. All right. Cheers, guys. More tomorrow.